Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of JT Real Talk Industry Leaders. Enjoy.
Name is my name is Chris Campbell, and I've been a real estate broker for 25 years now. And I developed a product called Birdhouse, and I'll tell you a little about it in a second. But it really was born out of a need versus trying to figure out something to sell into the marketplace. Our tagline is invented by a real estate agent for real estate agents. And so it really was something that I needed to be better at my business for my clients. I built a little prototype myself, and I showed it to some other agents, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, that is really cool." And I showed it to some clients, and are like, "Yeah, I would have loved that." So we built this product, and we're doing great. So that's kind of why you and I are talking today.
Sure.
The product. Sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're just about to jump into the product itself. So go ahead and elaborate.
Yeah. So, it's probably been 6, 7 years ago now. I was talking to a client who I had done 5 or 6 deals with, and she said, "I know I shouldn't ask you this, but what's a contingency removal again? And when is it?" And I'm like, boy, I didn't do a very good job explaining to her all the steps of the transaction. And maybe I kind of glossed over it because we'd done it so many times before, but I thought, man, this isn't good that a client doesn't know exactly what's going on and when it's happening. And I used to put together like a PDF of what's going on once we were in contract or when it was going to hit the market, basically a calendar of what was going on. And so I built a product that is calendar based, and it's really cool because you can put all the events that's going on into a transaction from pre-sale all the way to close. And it's really powerful for both being a seller and a buyer. So what it does, for example, I'll put in there contract acceptance date, and I'll put it on the calendar, and it'll have other things in there as well. But just for case in point, contract acceptance date, and it goes into a calendar, and then a link is shared with the client. So everything that's going on is on a calendar right in front of them.
Mm.
And when they hover over the event, there's a little description what it means. For example, a contingency removal. I've pre-populated the event so you don't have to recreate the wheel every time. Once you do it once, it stays in there. And so your client can sit there in bed on a Sunday evening or whenever on their phone and go, "Okay, I know what's going on." And it could be, I'm as thorough as, listing presentation was this day. I got a signed listing this day. We're going to market this day. It's on the MLS this day, broker's tour. There's to-dos that I can assign to a client. Hey, have the garage cleaned, photography's on this day. And what's really cool about it, and because it happens all the time, if something changes, like for photography is pushed back a day because the staging wasn't done, I just go in there on my phone or on my PC and change it. And they get a little notification that says something's been changed. Now, what's cool about it is it keeps everybody on the same page during a transaction. But when you've got 4 or 5 deals going on and there's a lot of moving pieces, you go to Birdhouse, and as a real estate agent, you pick the listing you're in question about, and everything's right there so you can see it. As well as when you're on the dashboard, all the events for all your listings are on the right-hand side so you can see everything that's going on today, tomorrow, the next day, etc. So what it is it's a communication tool to help an agent stay organized and relay communication effectively and smoothly, dynamically. You could do it. You can change things in one place.
Wow. That is exactly what every real estate agent needs.
And I'll be honest, and I'm kind of pulling my own horn here, is every time I've showed this to an agent, they've said, "Oh my gosh, I'm using it." And they do. The biggest problem we've had is agents are such creatures of habit, and maybe all people are, regardless of being a real estate agent. It takes 1 or 2 times before it starts to become part of what you do. I remember when Disclosure IO came out, I was like, "Oh, not another tool. Like, I can't do my business without it." It's just a great tool. It's just a really good document management, and it's a good tool. But so I think our biggest thing, Jeff, is to get people to use it not just once, but more than once, and make it part of what they do.
Absolutely. And taking a step back, you said you've been a broker for 25 years. I've been a licensed agent going on 5 years now here in Austin. And the biggest issue with sellers that I think they have with agents is not feeling led, not being in the know of what's going on with, yes, all the dates and the boxes that need to be checked and everything else. And this really kind of compiles everything into one place so that, it not only does it make the agent's job a little bit easier, but it makes them come across as the true professional, the true go-to who has the resources in order to actually get them to the closing table successfully.
Yeah, it's interesting you should say that because you're spot on. I saw a study, I think it was in Inman News or maybe it was NAR News that I got. When clients aren't satisfied with the job that was done for them, it's not that they didn't do a good job. Most agents can do nuts and bolts and get the job done, but it was communication. And so this is a piece of communication that I've had clients that I'll send Birdhouse to, and maybe the wife will look at it and the husband won't even accept the invitation. That's fine. I've had clients that never even open it. And I'll say to them, I already sent you this. And that's fine if they don't use it. But as an agent, you've done your job to inform them. Conversely, I've had agents I've done a few deals with, and this one young guy said, when is it going to be in Birdhouse? Like before we even started, so he could see what was going on. But you said a second ago, Jeff, is so important to me, is like we work so hard as agents to get our clients. We do postcards and mailings, and we use our time on Sundays and Saturdays. And, we don't put people in the car as much as we used to, but we just spend so much time getting a client. So why wouldn't you handle that client like gold?
Mhm.
So Birdhouse is a really cool way to keep the agent organized, but it really keeps your client informed of everything that's going on. So that's
Yeah, no, that's great, Chris. And it's super important, especially right now, depending on maybe which market you're in. I know for Austin, houses are sitting on the market longer. We're talking 90 to 100 days. And it gets to a point where the sellers just feel like the agent isn't doing enough. And having to actually do the outreach of, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, it's been a little slow with traction. Let's go ahead and set up an open house. You could just preemptively do all that with the application and then just shoot them a text, give them a call. Hey, check the Birdhouse app. I went ahead and planned an open house. Let me know if this works for you. But just another way to let them know that you are leading them, which my broker here in Austin, that's been the biggest thing for us is, and that he pushes into us is that the sellers and the clients need to feel led. And with this, it makes it seamless for the agents and seamless for the sellers.
You're right. And a really good point you touched upon there is that when I meet a client for the first time, I'm doing a listing presentation, I'll pre-populate a Birdhouse for them. I'll go by their house, take a picture of the house. It'll go in there. They can see their house in there, and I'll do a calendar of what it would look like. So it's sort of a soft close and say, when you work with me, this is the value I bring. I use a piece of software, a piece of technology that allows us to communicate real seamlessly. When I show people this is how we're going to talk, and they look at the calendars and I go, this is what you'll see. So there's no surprises. I get listings every time from it.
I bet. I bet. There's little things you can do prior to a listing appointment. You can, if you have their phone number ahead of time, send them a little video. Really looking forward to it. I've broken down the comparables in the area, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. But this just takes it a step further. Really lets them know that you're there for them and doing as much as you can. I'm curious if within the Birdhouse application, you guys are thinking about how can we, as we mentioned, houses have been on the market for a long time and they need updates with comparables and the current market conditions. What are interest rates doing right now? What's the buyer activity and so forth? I'm curious if there's somewhere that you guys are going to try to implement or put it in where there's a realtor can maybe upload CMA docs and an AI or something takes care of the analysis of the neighborhood and gives them just, a quick 2-3 paragraph update as the market conditions, the current median sales price, or anything like that. Are you guys thinking of going that direction?
Well, I can't say too much right now because we're right in the middle of talks, but we're looking to partner with other companies to fit inside of their environment, which could potentially do that. But to your specific question, the only thing that we could do is, let's say there's an inspection on Tuesday, and that inspection comes back and you get the PDF. You can download, or excuse me, you can associate. I'm not saying this right. You can upload the PDF, the report, into that event, so your clients always have it at their fingertips. So it doesn't connect with any type of AI and doing analysis of what's going on. But what you could do is you could have something in the calendar that says, on Sunday evening, sometimes when it's nice to touch people as much as you can, you could do that market analysis of what's happening, upload it to the up into Birdhouse, and it's there. It's a document that they can see. It doesn't take the place of good old fashioned getting on the phone, but all of your work will be stored in there, and they can see historically all the work you've done. So every Sunday, when you do here's what's going on at the market, you upload it to Birdhouse, and they have it. So again, a touch point and showing your clients you're working for them.
And a huge thing to have one stop shop, if you will, where all the documents are in place, because I know for myself, I'll still have the occasional, well, do you remember that email that I sent you, 6 weeks ago when I talked about the current market conditions and where, what 3 weeks and 6 weeks is going to look like and what we should do? Well, I don't know. I don't remember that email. Well, then I have to go back and find the email and the documentation and say, hey, this is what we had talked about. And now we're here. What do you guys think? And so for them to have that one place to go, especially in a seamless app like Birdhouse, I feel the realtor and client relationship is going to improve drastically.
I agree, and I appreciate you noticing that and saying kind words. But that's the crux of it. It's communication. It's first of all staying organized, communicate with your client, and making their experience with you the best it can be.
Awesome, Chris. And you guys are still in the early stages, and you said you had your one investor, your angel investor, looking to maybe sell it right away. Not going that direction, but for you personally, where do you hope that goes? I know you mentioned that it's something that
Yeah, great question. I would like to see it in one of two places. I'd like to see it in the environment of another company that's strong and has market presence and is a value add to what they're already doing. And the second place I see this going is let me back up just a quick second. Every time we made a decision on how to build this, we had our developers going, oh, that makes sense. I'm like, no, this is a realtor. It needs to be more simple than that. We've made it so easy. You don't have to learn anything. We spent a lot of time making it easy. So I think the next maturation of this product could be for everyday users to put together a girls trip, weddings, anytime where people are together, a bunch of people at one time, you put it in the calendar, everybody can see it. Like, you get some people going on a trip together and there's 6 couples and boom, you put it in there and everything's there. We're going to this restaurant this time, boom. So I see it being a calendar that can be used in a lot of applications. I mean, you can do it now with, very Apple and Google and whatnot, but it's not seamless and it takes some buttons and clicking and people don't want to mess with their calendars. So this is a standalone app that I think has got applications in lots of other areas.
incredible. Because yes, having the group trip, the calendar, and then the same thing as I said before with the emails, the itinerary for that day was in the email and you've got to go to your email application to find it. And so
Right.
having it one spot is really going to be a huge benefit.
Yeah. So that's where it could go too. And of course that would be huge because that's not just one vertical.
Got you. And for the rollout, you get it to the finish line where it's wrapped and sealed and ready to go. What are you guys' plans, if you don't mind my asking, as far as rolling it out and advertisement, or do you have sales associates lined up to kind of get it sold?
I'll tell you, man, that's our hardest part. We have a great little product and all the local agents around me in Northern California use it, but I got to get better at that. I don't know a good answer for you. We just did an association marketing agreement with the MLS that I'm associated with, and there's 3,500 agents and we're doing great there. So that's one of the venues is to contact associations. The downside of that is it takes a long time to get an agreement going and get them to sign on. And we did it. It just took a long time. So I'm working hard. If any of you viewers have any,
Yeah. Well,
reach out to me.
I mean, there's software as a service is in itself a business, and there are ways to help those sorts of businesses software as a service, because this is essentially a software, right? In order to market it, generate leads for it, or rather generate people interested in it. I would definitely love to have a chat with you about that maybe another time. Really dive deep into where you guys are hoping to go with that. Because I'm looking to utilize AI in my own business and to help wholesaling business that I'm a part of as well. So it's something that I'm really diving into that would love to chat with you further about. And when it comes to the application, is it going to be on Apple and Android?
No, we decided to build it in what's called a progressive web app. And so the way you use it on your phone is you just go to the website, you save it as a bookmark, and it's got full functionality. A couple of reasons why we did it that way, not through the App Store and through Android. I won't get into that, but when you go to the website, you just save us a bookmark on your iOS or your Android, and it's real easy. And it looks like an app on your phones, and it has full functionality. So you don't have to download any software. It's just a web app.
Right. Excellent. And in the process of this build, creating this idea and putting the app together, I know you're still kind of in the maybe the early rounds of investors, angel investors. Where do you project some revenue from this, if you don't mind my asking?
No, I think there's just over 2 million real estate agents in the United States. And if you just get 1% of those, you've got a good business. And if you get 2%, you've got a great business. So I understand that most real estate, 80% of the business is by 20% of the agents. That's the case in all businesses. But the people who use technology to their benefit will win. They always have, and they always will. And if we can get just those people, we've got a very robust product. The product right now is $9 a month, $9.95 a month. And we work deals out with associations to make it more palatable if you're part of a group, which we're happy to do. So the revenue stream could be very strong if we get penetration. And like we talked about earlier, that part's not easy. So that's the part we're working on next to get a better market penetration. And, we're small. We've got a great product and we have to figure out a way to get agents to even see it.
I wonder, I would love to dive further into the market penetration. Do you have any case studies of previous applications or attempts at something like this? Any sort of precedents?
I think what you're asking is, do you have like testimonials or things like that on how their experience went?
Well, maybe like a previous application who has, whether it be in real estate or this seems very unique, but I'm just curious if you guys have come across kind of anything else that maybe is similar in the sense that they need to get market penetration that you've maybe dove into as far as a study.
No, not really. Where we modeled what we were doing with this is a company called Basecamp. And Basecamp we used it while building this product, but Basecamp is for power users. You've got to learn how to use it. It's not hard to learn, but it's an enterprise solution in that the subscriptions are more expensive and you have to learn how to use it. And it's a very powerful tool, but it's more intra business. And I think it loses its value when you do it something like what we're doing. So we're kind of like a product, like a project management tool, maybe project management light. And we wanted to make it super easy. So to your point, we could go down that direction on how there were some parallels with project management in the business world.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to using it myself. Well, that's really all the questions I have. You have any last words for anybody out there?
Just kudos to you for taking a chance to trying something different. And you're going to be successful. You probably already are. I have no idea because we just met, but I like.
All right, sir. Well, thank you so much.